All right, welcome into the Daily Fix. A little victory Friday for the Kansas City Chiefs as they start this thing 1-0, 27-20 in a hell of a game. Be honest with you, as a football fan, I hope we see it again. I do. I really do. I hope later on this year in the playoffs we see that matchup again because that was a fun game last night. But a lot to get to. As usual, this is the Daily Fix presented by Foolish Club Media. I am your guy, Golden Ron Hughley, and there is in that little box the birthday boy, Steve Serta, in the spot that he always needs to be. And when is your birthday, Steve? Is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
My birthday is always opening week of the NFL season, so I typically don't do much on my birthday.
My congratulations to making it to year 38. Steve's birthday.
35.
Sure. Steve, okay.
Looking pretty good for 35 if you ask me.
Yep. Squint to see him, folks. But that's Steve in a little box. Happy birthday to our guy. Hey, and again, I want to first send out, I think it's the first person on Foolish Club Media this morning. Shout out to everybody who listened and watched and did everything and rolled with us yesterday. It was a big day for us to start the season, and we appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the content and keep going with us with all of our shows, all of our podcasts, our daily show, and all the other things we have coming in the mix. We appreciate you a lot. Those of you who hung in, we almost had 1,000 people watching that post-game show last night with you and Rocky, so that was fantastic. Woo! Every single post-game, after every game, you'll see Steve and Rocky getting it on. So I appreciate everybody. It was a good time last night, baby. Good time last night. But I'm not gonna hold you long as usual, even though it's a victory Friday. We gotta tackle Travis Kelce.
Not his football performance.
No, we gotta tackle Travis Kelce. I think you know what the hell is going on. Why the V? But we'll tackle Travis Kelce, and the impact of one Xavier Worthy was big, and not just in the way that you think. We'll discuss that too. But I want to start off here. Oh, real quick. First, if you're watching us on Twitter, appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you're watching us on YouTube, we appreciate you as well. Please like and subscribe Foolish Club Media on our YouTube page. We need you. It is the fastest growing, slowest growing, but still growing digital show on the market today. So please like and subscribe at Foolish Club Media for us. But I do want to start here. Hey, Steve. Uh-oh. See, I fell in the camp of this. I know we've had conversations. We fell in the camp of this. And I know maybe you don't completely see it when you watch yesterday's game. But there was a thought that the Chiefs defense was going to have, I don't want to say a significant drop-off, but there was going to be a drop-off. And clearly, last year, that was, I would say, one of the best defenses we've seen in the last, I think, decade in the NFL. Nobody really talked about it a lot until late, but you just saw the numbers of how many times. I mean, it was like 16 or 17 games they held teams under 21 points. I mean, they were ridiculous every single week. And they lost guys like L'Jarius Sneed and Willie Gay, and some guys are getting older. And the thought was maybe they may take a drop-off. Steve? I don't know that drop-off is going to be as significant as maybe some people really thought it was, including myself. Because, listen, Lamar Jackson went ham. He went off. I don't know about you, Steve. That is one of the best games I've seen Lamar Jackson play. Throwing for 270 plus, running for 122. He was clearly the best player on the field yesterday, and that includes Patrick Mahomes being out there. He was nasty. You look up, Steve, they scored 20 points, just like what we watched last year. And a time where I would say maybe a top 5, top 10 game he's ever played, they scored 20 points. The Chiefs forced a turnover. The D-line, which will get better, was killing them in the first half. You could see there's probably going to be some drop-off in the second half because they probably don't have their win, not being in football shape. But 74 plays they gave up to them. where they were running all over the place. They held Derrick Henry to 46 yards. The secondary held up well. Watson made some plays out there. I mean, the second cornerback situation looked better than maybe we thought it would be. They looked a lot better than I thought they were going to be. And you can see as years and years, Spags usually gets this group to get better as the season goes on. And they're without parts like Charles Omenihu, who's not there yet. We saw FAU look better. I heard you last night on the post-game show. Can he look like a football player? That was a hell of a recovery. He got snaps and minutes out there. We'll see more with better offenses, but what they did yesterday with what the Ravens were doing, especially Lamar, and only hold them to 20 points and do the number they did on Derrick Henry, that was impressive to me.
Yeah. I talked about it all offseason. Like, I was still pretty confident in this Chiefs secondary. I think Jalen Watson and Joshua Williams are good players, even if they're not L'Jarius Sneed level players. And Trent McDuffie's a superstar. Chamari Connor also had a very nice night. Like, Chamari Connor is going to be a baller in the secondary, is a versatile chess piece for Steve Spagnuolo. Like, there's still some red flags, and I do expect a drop-off, but you're just not going to be as good as you were last year on defense. Like, it's just impossible to carry that over year, especially when you have personnel changes. But this defense is still going to be a very good defense this season if they can stay healthy.
Oh, they feel like, to me, I'm looking towards the end. They feel like a top 10 defense. Like, they look like a top 10 defense, and they look like they will have the ability to win games the way they did last year. Maybe not as many times, but if the Chiefs need to step up, they can shut down. I mean, Lamar, they would have had more sacks if it was any other quarterback in the world, not named Lamar Jackson. Like, that they were putting pressure on him. He was just escaping. So this defense, I'm telling you, I thought it was going to be a drop-off and just the offense was going to make up for it. No, they're going to be a good defense, especially as the year moves on. All right. I think the big thing coming out of yesterday's game offensively was, whoa, that Xavier Worthy pick looks like it worked. Whoa, it looks like that paid dividends right away, and he was nasty right away. And listen, there was a busted coverage, and then he showed his skill set with his speed as he forced it to be untouched, as well as the blocking, and got into the end zone. He got into the end zone twice. He affected the game a lot. But the way he affected the game sort of was with him not even touching the ball. And this is what makes it scary. I said this, and I don't want to break my arm or shoulder tapping my back, but I said this multiple times that yesterday was going to be a big Rashee Rice game. And I know you've said it'll be a big Rashee Rice season. They didn't even have Hollywood on the other side that's going to scare people too down the field. But his speed just completely opens up the middle of the field in a way that the Chiefs haven't seen since Tyreek, and that's just real. And you could just see, he only had 2 catches for 47 yards, and he caught a touchdown, and he had that run. But every time you saw Rashee Rice in the middle of the field with all that space, a lot of it had to do because of the impact and the effect of him being on the field. Also, Travis Kelce being double-teamed as Kyle Hamilton was double-teaming him a lot. But Xavier Worthy screaming down the field, the speed, and it showed early on the first drive. You saw exactly what he could do, and it scared him all night long. And the middle of the field, it's like the best analogy I can make it is when people would say this about Kobe is Shaq allows Kobe, who's probably the best one-on-one player in the world at the time, to get a chance to go one-on-one because you have to double Shaq. And because you got that speed and Kelce on the other side, you're putting a weaker corner maybe on Rashee Rice, and he's just going to beat people in the middle of the field like that. It is scary. That's without Hollywood Brown. But the impact of Worthy is more than his touchdowns and his touches. It is what he does from the middle of the field.
It wasn't the cleanest performance by the Chiefs offense, but you can see when Hollywood comes into this offense, like it feels like it's going to be unstoppable again because everything that they did last night, even though it wasn't the cleanest performance, felt easier than it was all of last season.
Yes.
And then you add the speed of Hollywood Brown into the mix with what Xavier Worthy can do out there. And then You got Kelce and Rice over the middle of the field. It's hard to envision a scenario where this Chiefs offense isn't easily one of the best in the NFL again this season. And we got a glimpse of it last night against one of the best defenses in the NFL. Like, they're not going to play the Ravens defense on a weekly basis. So the Chiefs offensive expectations should be through the roof right now.
Sir, the Ravens were forced to have to put Roquan Smith. He was matched up many times in the middle of the field with Rashee Rice. There's no chance. And watch next week, maybe the Bengals will try to adjust to it, but there means 87 is going to have advantages. Like, this is scary, the impact that this cat has. And it's different from the other speed guys they've had over the last couple of years because he can actually there's a fear that he can do damage and complete catches and track balls. So Xavier Worthy is scary, and this is scary for the impact that he and Hollywood Brown are going to have in the middle of the field. All right, Travis Kelce didn't have a vintage game. He didn't, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on with his haircut and this look. Now, this photo you have, he's hiding it with the hat. That's one of it. But this with the stash and this hair thing that he had it floating up like a flower in the front, and then it's no fade. It's just cut into a V in the back. Like, look. There's some swings and misses. I know that some of you out there will say, "Oh, I don't give a damn what he wears or what his hair looks like as long as the Chiefs win and he's catching touchdowns and he's playing well." Bullshit. I care. I care, Steve. I care about what the hell he looks like. He has been the model of greatness when it comes to flair, look, and hair and all of that. And if you look at yesterday's pod, you can go, or yesterday's show, you can go and watch it. Do you know what Brock Bowers would give to be able to have that great hair that Travis has, and you just go and do whatever the hell you want to do with it, and you just throw it? Courtney was she felt disrespected when she saw him in pregame warmups with that look that he had. There are swings and misses. And this was just a swing and a miss. Now, I know he's going out and just trying stuff. I got a couple of questions. First thing I want to also say, Steve, don't y'all blame this on Taylor. That's a grown-ass man that's making his own decisions. Don't put this on Taylor Swift. All right? She's not going out there asking for this. All right? She may just be saying, "Hey, babe, live your life. Hey, I love you wherever you are." But don't put this on Taylor. She's not influencing. This is him. That man's 34 years old. He's almost the same age as Steve. All right, he's making that his own decisions, but this has got to stop. I mean, this is ridiculous, Steve. I mean, ridiculous.
I mean, I don't think it's a great look, and we've seen Travis Kelce have some very fantastic looks over the last several years. But he's got a stylist. He's got somebody who's helping him look and dress and get haircuts and style the way that he wants to style. And so maybe we're just out of touch.
No, we're not.
Maybe this is a popular look that Kelce's leaning into, or maybe Kelce's at the status now where he sets the trends and people are going to start walking around looking like Travis Kelce does right now. I don't know how this stuff works.
And that's the fear, Steve.
I don't have any fashion sense.
That's the fear, Steve. Yes, he is somebody that's a trendsetter. And now he's got these bangs and that V cut in the back and that stupid stash, and he looks like he'd be an extra on Magnum PI in the 80s. And yes, there are going to be people who walk in and say, "Give me the Travis Kelce." And it's a damn shame that he's going to do this to people. It's a damn shame. Just start over. And listen, you didn't have the greatest of games, so maybe flush this one down the toilet. I mean, God, man, you know what Brock Bowers would give to have that full of hair in the front, and you would do this? I bet Brock would have a great cut if you gave him this hair. And you're just taking advantage of this. Bye to that haircut, and bye, Mom. Hi, Mom. And Courtney.